guys, how are you? I miss you so much. I wish I could see you, but I hope you've had a chance to look at the other videos I've made and some of the other teachers have made. And I've got our new letter, so here we go. It's the letter T. And here's some things that begin with the letter T. I've got a tree. This is a picture of a tent. I've got a little toy train. I'll hold that up for you. I've got a little tiny Christmas tree. And I've got one of my favorite things, a can of tuna. I don't know if you guys like to eat that, but I love it. So if you haven't guessed it by now, the letter T says T. We're going to learn how to draw a letter T. I've got my one on the board here, so I'll show you. We start with our starter dot. Put your pen on the starter dot. Draw a line straight down. Ooh, my marker's starting to get dry. Then come across and give that T a hat. So line down and then right across the top, you're going to give him a hat. The next one, same thing. Start on the starter dot. Line down. But instead of going to the top to give him a hat, you go right in the middle and cross it in the middle. So it's going to look like a cross. So line down, cross it in the middle. Big one, line down, give him a line across the top, give him a hat. And that is it. Easy peasy, right guys? And for those of you in my morning class who have sight words, we're going to review the T sight words that we learned. There's 3 ways to say the same word, but they all mean something different. They all sound the same, but they mean something different. Here's the first one. T-O, to, like I am going to the store, or I am going to play in the backyard. T-O-O, which means, can I come too? That means I want to go with you. So can I come too? Me too? Have your little siblings ever said that to you before? So that's what T-O-O means. And T-W-O, it also says two, but this is how you say the number 2. T-W-O. So we've got T-O for 2. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go somewhere. T-O-O, which means I want to come too, me too, can I do it too? And T-W-O for the number 2. So there you go. 3 ways. All sounds the same, but they all mean something different. All right, and that is the letter T. I have another special feature here for you, and that's another edition of our book, Blizzard of the Blue Moon. So, if you would like to hear the next chapter of Blizzard of the Blue Moon, listen up, get cozy. My unicorn friend and I are going to share it with you. All right. As the wizard and magical librarian of Camelot walked across the snow, Dianthus stepped forward to greet them. He bowed his head. Merlin tenderly stroked the unicorn's white neck. Morgan Le Fay turned to Jack and Annie. "Hello," she said, smiling. "It's good to see you both." Her lovely voice washed over Jack like music. "You too," said Annie, hugging the enchantress. "What are you and Merlin doing here?" Jack asked. "I have always wanted to visit New York City," said Morgan. "Teddy has just given us quite a ride in that taxi. Merlin had to tell him to slow down several times." Morgan laughed and turned to Merlin. Quite a ride indeed, said Merlin. Greetings to both of you, Jack and Annie. Greetings, they said. Thank you for saving my beloved Diantha, said Merlin. Long ago he was stolen from Camelot by evildoers. He was rescued by magic weavers in the Netherlands. To keep him safe, they used their art to hide him in their tapestries. I knew I could entrust you two to set him free on the day the spell was to end. But your mission turned out to be more dangerous than I intended. I did not know the Dark Wizard had sent his apprentices to follow you and capture the unicorn. Poor Grinda and Baylor, said Annie. Now they're ducks. Oh, do not worry, said Teddy. The spell will wear off in a few days and they'll find their way home. Yes, said Kathleen, I'm sure the Dark Wizard will have some other wicked plan for them. Aye, said Merlin, but they will no longer have the use of their black rope. He picked up the rope from the ground and handed it to Teddy. Take this back to Camelot and see that it is destroyed. Gladly, said Teddy. It must be terrible to work for the Dark Wizard, said Annie. She looked at Merlin. I'm glad we work for you instead. Merlin smiled. And so am I, he said. On your last 4 missions, you and Jack have proved you know how to use magic wisely. And for that, I entrust you with one of Camelot's greatest treasures. Merlin pulled a spiraled wand out from his robe. I give you the wand of Dianthus, he said. As you can see, the wand is made in the shape of a unicorn's horn. It has a bit of magic in it. Merlin held the silver wand out to Jack and Annie. Jack took the wand from Merlin. It burned in his hand with cold or warmth. He couldn't tell which. With the help of the wand, you can make your own magic, said Merlin. But you can only use it after you have tried your hardest, said Morgan. And remember, it can only be used for another's good. We'll remember, breathed Annie. Thank you, said Jack. He unbuckled his briefcase and carefully placed the silver wand inside. We must leave you now, said Merlin. He turned to Teddy and Kathleen. You may ride Dianthus home to Camelot. I will be along shortly, but first I would like to drive that taxi around New York myself. Morgan, would you join me? Indeed, said Morgan, but drive a bit more slower than Teddy, please. I promise, said Merlin. He looked at Jack and Annie. Good evening to you, my friends. I will call for you soon again. Bye, said Annie and Jack. Merlin took Morgan's arm, and the two walked back to the taxi and climbed into the front seat. The big yellow car sputtered and then took off wildly. As it careened up the avenue, Merlin blew the horn. Awooga! Awooga! All right, we'll have one chapter left called The Wand of Dianthus. That's chapter 10, and I'll read that in our next video. You stay tuned and we'll find out what happens with that wand. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.